Hi, I'm Jo Munday and welcome to Videos That Get Clients, a podcast for entrepreneurs, business owners and coaches, and anyone really who wants to use video to really connect with their clients in an authentic way. Today I'm speaking to Juanita Sinclair about the mindset of marketing and getting your message out there and sharing your videos to as wide an audience as possible. Juanita is a friend and colleague of mine, and she's a content and visibility coach, and she's also an expert in online marketing and getting visible and getting your content out there. Like me, she's interested in working with entrepreneurs and coaches who are really wanting to connect with their audience on a deep level and working to create a force for good in the world, sort of positive social change and transformation with their clients. So welcome, Juanita.
Hi, Jo. Thank you for having me.
And I'm just really excited to talk to you here because I think the work that we do has got a really nice synchronicity in that...
Yeah, most definitely.
I sort of focus more on the production of the content and then your expertise, I know, is sort of like getting it to a big audience and the right audience, I suppose.
Yeah. I think a lot of the times we create stuff, loads of stuff, and we don't have a person in mind. And so, a big part of what I do is really finding out who you want to talk to and why, and helping you tell your story in a way that's relevant to who you want to connect with. So, yeah.
And so when you're working with your clients, do you find that people are a bit lost in that area, or that they find it hard to work out who their client is?
Yeah, I think it's a process that's really overthought, but it's something that we do quite inherently. Like, we create stuff and we think about it a lot, and really when we start thinking, will they like it, will they like me, do they like it, it can hinder the creative process. And a big part of what I do is create with something in mind, like set a destination but enjoy the journey. So a big part of what I do is helping people get really precise, because marketing has been a bit of a guess game up until now, especially for an entrepreneur who doesn't have a big massive marketing team or a marketing engine in their organisation. So you kind of guess, we've got Facebook and YouTube, and they just kind of slap everything everywhere. But just like we do when we're not online, we all hang out in certain places. There's certain influencers and certain people that the people you want to connect with are talking to. So a big part of what I do is helping you connect with the people who are talking to the people you're talking to, but actually get really precise, because it can get really costly when you're guessing.
Yeah, I can relate to that whole thing of sort of love just putting it out there and sort of hoping for the best. And so I like that, what you say about being precise.
Yeah.
Can you say a bit more about it?
Yeah, so I have 3 stages to how I work. Clarity, like who, what, where, very practical stuff. When, what do they want, why do they want it, why is it relevant? Precision, take the guesswork out. It's so much easier to connect with someone when you know what you want to say. And when I say know what you want to say, I don't mean like a full script of how you speak to every human that you encounter. But if you can get precise about what really matters to that person, that potential client, an important thing is, how are they seeing their world right now? Like, you've got a result, you've got something to solve a problem, but they don't know a lot of the time that they even have that problem. So, for instance, if I work with a health coach, they might say, this juicing is really great and gives you energy and blah, 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 blah. Or the reason you're tired is because you're not eating right. But they don't know that. They've got a whole load of reasons why they think they're tired, why they think they're exhausted. They think it's their job So being precise is all about, how is my potential client, the person I want to reach, what does their world look like to them? Because if I can describe that, they can resonate. And with resonations, I'm making up words right now, but with that, if I'm able to resonate, if I'm able to relate, it will stop me. We're used to advertising, we're used to marketing, we're surrounded by it. You can't walk down the road without somebody or something trying to sell you something. So we're immune to it. So when we just talk about the result, sometimes that can miss the person. But for instance, drinking more cups of coffee because you're a bit tired, that would make me stop. Oh, I'm doing that. What's that about? You know? So something that interrupts them gently, something that lets them say, well, wow, that's me. Maybe that's what I need. So the precision's about that. And then once you've got precision, you can get sustainable because you're connected to the people that need you.
What process would that involve? So if you want to find, I mean, is it about just doing research, or?
It's about talking to who you want to talk to or who you think you want to talk to. So if I think about my journey, I worked with corporates for a while, Google, Shell, and sat in on massive marketing meetings and everything else. And one thing they did was they weren't scared to get it wrong. I mean, you'd say, well, maybe they've got budget and everything else, but one thing that I noticed was that they weren't scared to get it wrong. So, okay, we're creating this product. Who might like it? I don't know. And then we'd just go around the room and muse. And then they'd go talk to those people. Now, one of the ways you can do that is investigate. Like, if you get it wrong, you can change it. You can adapt it. You can change your service. You can create something new. But talk to them. Or at least who you think you want to talk to. It's the easiest way to eliminate.
And then once you've got your a bit more background about your client, you mentioned sustainability. What is that like the next step? Or?
Yeah. So once you're clear who you want to talk to, you can take a step and be precise. Once you get precise, you can start working out what they need. What do they want? Because you can think, like when I first started out, I thought everybody wanted an email campaign in Infusionsoft. No, they didn't. Some people wanted help developing content and an online course. Some people wanted copywriting to work out, how does that work? Some people just needed distribution. Like they'd created tons of content, tons of it, but nobody was seeing it. So they needed a strategy around distributing it. But the sustainability part comes when you've got what they call the minus touch. It's kind of like everything you touch turns to gold. It's because you've got something that your client really resonates with. You've got something that they see the value in their own life. So a company, a massive company, everyone knows that does this really well is Apple. They don't say, look at this beautifully designed phone. They show an advert with someone walking through the park texting or FaceTiming, and then the strapline will say something like, connect with the one you love anywhere. What they're really great at doing is showing you how their product or service fits into your life, why it should matter to you. Why should I care that it's pretty? They give you an experience versus a product. And when you can let your customer or your client or potential customers know how you fit into what they want, what is the result? What's the implications of that result? Like if you do well-being and health, well, what's the implications of a healthy and well-being life? Like everybody knows they want to be fit. Everybody knows they want to be well. But what's going to happen? What's as a result of you tasting this, testing this, talking to me? How's that going to change my life? And then it becomes personal for the customer, and that can become sustainable because you can then create products and services that they want versus what you think they want.
Yeah, I love that. I love what you were saying as well about. I talked about Apple and Steve Jobs in an earlier episode, and how it's very much about the feeling and the emotion behind it, rather than it's not about the fact that it's a phone or a computer or the size of the hard drive or whatever. It's about the emotion of having that product, and I suppose once you've got that sort of defined emotion, then you can produce your video content, your marketing, everything around that keeps that vibe alive. It
keeps it alive. It keeps it relevant. As I said, we're being sold stuff all the time, and people don't buy what they need. They buy what they want. Now, sometimes what we want is what we need, but we buy what we want. We buy stuff that suits us. I mean, I needed a new laptop. It wasn't a second thought for me to walk into the Apple store, because people like me buy a laptop like that. And it's a story I've been told, and whether it's true or not, I've bought it. Because Seth Godin says it, people like us do this. And that's the story you tell, you know, and that allows people to have an experience, something personal, some skin in the game when it comes to interacting with you. And that's where connection comes from. And once you've got that connection, it becomes an economy of what I call the economy of trust, where trust and relationship and permission give you access to speaking and communicating with someone, and mutual values being exchanged. I work out what you need and I give you something that you really love in return. And then sales isn't a hard thing. It's a no-brainer to connect with you. It's a no-brainer to have a session with you. It's a no-brainer to buy your online product, because you get me, and that's what people want, people who get them.
Yeah, exactly. And then once you've bought one product, you've got that loyalty, because you get me, so I'm going to buy, you know, all these different things from you, rather than when I don't need to shop around when I need something new, because that's, you know, you're like that one-stop shop almost.
Yeah.
And there's that loyalty, there's that sort of real, what you're saying about trust. And if, for example, for me, like, I'm an iPhone user, and I've just sort of, Apple have somehow got my loyalty. I don't even look at anything else now.
Right.
And it's sort of just like a no-brainer. I mean, iMac is like 3 times the cost of a normal laptop, but again, it's like a no-brainer. So it's kind of, I suppose, we're coming back to the importance of getting that initial, or developing that initial relationship, so that once the seeds have been sown, you've kind of, you can then enjoy the
fruit of that labour.
Yeah, for quite a long time afterwards.
You can. I mean, it's important to be consistent, so don't sell them a story that you can't complete. But if you're able to tell a story, show them versus tell them. There's a lot of, especially in coaching, training, consultancy, there's a lot of telling people what you do. Show them what you do. You know, you can never give away too much content. You know, don't give away your secrets. No such thing. You know, like, whatever you have to share it. And from that point, people can connect, they can resonate, and then this magic juice we call authenticity creates trust, because like I said, people like us do this, and if you're able to do that really well, it's not hard to sell or connect, and create a mutual beneficial need between you and the customer that needs you.
And what about just going back to like mindset and in terms of, so you're quite clear about your client, and you're clear about, you know, sort of what you can offer, and you've got something that you can develop that relationship with. What about making sure you actually take the action and create and get visible, and all of those things that seems to be where some of the insecurities appear. One
of the key things to remember is this could go wrong, and being totally comfortable with that. There is a thing around success, but success and failure are one and the same thing to me. You know, success is winning, but in the winning comes losing. It's like a yin and a yang. So one of the things to know is you could get it wrong. You could create something that nobody wants. But one of the ways to avoid that is to be open, be vulnerable, be willing to say, look, guys, I don't really know how this is going to work, but I've got an idea about something, and start sharing from a place of what you do know. And it's something I call action insight. AIM. So you kind of say, okay, I've got an insight, something is occurring to me about a particular topic, or something is occurring to me that could really help a certain set of people. Start there. Insight will come afterwards. So just trust that you have what you need. You can't get you wrong. So especially with maybe some of the people that are listening to this particular podcast, they are the product, they are the service. So you can't get you wrong. So what do you know? What can you share from a really, really clear place in a way that you share it? Like, you don't have to speak like someone else. You don't have to be like anyone else. Like, that's their journey. You've had an insight around something. Share from that place you know. And then when there's more to know, you'll have another insight. Like, we don't have an insight expiry date, or wisdom only comes between 10 and 12. Like, continue to act on what occurs to you, and as the insights come, share it from that place. And there's something really powerful about that.
And something, and what I hear and what you say is something about being true to the present moment and where you are right now, and also kind of vulnerability, as in you don't need to, and this is what I say to my clients, it doesn't need to be this flawless, perfect thing, because if you've done, as a kind of, in terms of video specifically, it's, you know, rather that something that's really scripted to the nth degree and really, really polished hasn't got the impact of something which is more of a raw.
Yeah. So for me, many people saw me start out guessing on how to do something, and like people, I used to go through the stage like, "What are you doing now?" Because I think I've had a pretty public journey of how I do things, and that has only aided. There were times when I thought I was doing really badly, and people were like, "I'm so inspired, I've been really impacted by what you've been sharing about entrepreneurship and your own journey." I'm like, what? Because impact isn't, you can't do impact. Impact is a natural occurrence of being who you are. It's a given. Like if I'm being me, it's given that I'm going to impact somebody or something. And that can be a smile, a tear, a laughter. You know, I got it wrong today. Guys, I've whoever your tribe are, like, this is what I'm seeing today. And you see so many people who are doing great videos now or doing whatever. Like, go back and Google Tony Robbins 2006 and see what Tony Robbins looked like, or Brené Brown, or bloody hell, Oprah. Like, see what they were doing when they start, and it gets better. Like, your first video, the general rule is it might be a bit pants, but do it anyway, because you'll notice that anyone you look up to, research when they started their career, go find them on YouTube, and you'll be really surprised that you'll see people transform in front of you, but that didn't stop them from connecting with who needed them. It just meant that it was a process, and some of us get the pleasure of seeing other people develop and grow and evolve, and lets us know that where you start isn't where you finish, but when you're starting you can't see the finish line. You just know what the finish line might kind of look like. So yeah, don't be afraid to get it wrong, because you can't get you wrong, and if you hold on to that, your first video will be more enjoyable than you think it will.
Yeah, I love that. It's kind of, trusting that taking that step, that first step, will lead to something, will lead to, or at the very least, like a lesson.
It's a lesson.
In what not to do.
And what not to do. Like, if you do a video and you get loads of bad comments, and to be fair, I've never had that happen to a client or myself. But if you do something and people take it really badly, well, then you know, well, oh, I'm either talking to the wrong people, or you could have got it wrong, or it could be anything. But if the question I always say when working with a client, if this wasn't telling you you're really crap, if this wasn't telling you pants, and your service is pants, and everything you do is pants, then what else could it be teaching you? What else could it be showing you? And when you ask yourself that question, mind kind of kicks out the way and wisdom kicks in. And you can see the fun in it, you can see the silver lining, you'll see the humour in your evolvement. And a trick to remember, a coach of mine, Marina Pearson, she said to me, I've just started and taken on a new team, and I'm really not great at managing people right now. It's a work in progress. But she said, you've never done this before, so you're going to get it wrong. And I was like, yeah, I've never done this before. And it's the same, if you've never done a video before, give yourself some slack, cut yourself some slack, and say, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I love that. So that's great advice, actually, for people who are just about to make that first step, or have got their first video. Is there anything else, kind of just in terms of advice or things that are important to remember?
A couple of things that are important to remember is you haven't done this before, so it's meant to be weird. Like, when we were kids, there's loads of stuff we haven't done before, and we're really, really, really great at discovery. But when we're a kid, we're so much more comfortable with it. when we grow up, we've got all these outcomes and how it should look. And there is no how it should look because you've never done it before. So we have no idea what it should look like. So don't judge it. Just the second thing is be you. And by you, I mean whatever comes out, however it comes out, just let it come out. Forget who you're saying it to and just say what you need to say, if that makes sense. Because sometimes if we keep the people in mind, we all of a sudden get this story about what these people are going to think. So you don't have to share anything but what you know. Wisdom doesn't ask you to do anything that you aren't equipped to do. So know that you're not sharing anything that you don't know. You do know it. And if you don't know it, you just don't know yet. So let it come, let it flow, and pretend you're giving someone a box of chocolates or a gift, especially if it's a service versus a product. I mean, everything's a gift, but if you imagine how it's going to fit into that person's life, imagine how this information can transform, then you can talk from a place of real freedom versus will they like me? Because when you first get out there, it's going to be what you're saying and what you're sharing that's going to connect you. The people very rarely connect with the person until that economy has happened, that value has happened, and then all of a sudden, well, that person that was talking about that thing, who are they? Because they know something that I don't. And have fun, laugh at yourself. Your eyes will do weird things. You'll look in the corner, you will scratch your head. Just have fun and take as many takes as you need. Just enjoy the process.
Yeah, I mean that last one's probably the most important.
Yeah.
In terms of if all else fails, just smile and look like you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
Because if it looks painful and it feels painful, it's probably going to feel painful to the viewer, isn't it? They're gonna pick up wherever you're coming from. They're gonna pick it up, whether it's conscious or subconscious. So, do your best to just have fun. Pretend you're speaking to a girlfriend or your best mate, someone you know really well. One of the tricks I always say to clients is, have someone you really love in mind and pretend you're telling them the advice. Because then you come from a place where it's unguarded. And if you think about kids, we go, oh, because they're so unguarded. They're like, hi, I'm me, and that's why we love babies, because they've got no shield up. They just show up. And when you show up, it's really powerful. I love that, yeah. Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Thanks, Renita. And if anyone wants to kind of get in touch with you to find out a bit more about what you do, where do they need to go?
Right, so if you want to find out more about what I do, you can come to www.juanitajsinclair.com and you'll find out about all my adventures. You can connect with my blog. And yeah, you can find out what I'm up to in the world and where I'm at. Yeah.
Lovely, brilliant. Oh, I've really enjoyed chatting. Thanks.
Me too. Thanks for having me, Jo.
So if you have any questions at all or want to find out a bit more, then please just get in touch. My Facebook page is Jo Munday Video Production. My email address is jo@jo-munday.com. That's jo-munday.com. And my website is www.jo-munday.com. Thanks very much for listening, and I hope to be in contact with you soon. Bye for now.